What's up, dude?
Not much, man. Not much. I'm
Forgive
exhausted,
me.
but
Forgive me while I wipe my face. I'm a savage. Kristen is going to book club in a couple hours, so I'm on my own for dinner. And I just took like leftover ground beef from last week and pork rinds and just made like the most disgusting white trash nachos. It's game day.
oh, you started drinking yet?
No, not yet. Not yet. I found after our early attempts at this, I'm a lot less productive on these calls when I started drinking. So
Fair enough. Fair enough.
we're starting early enough to where we should be out of here by tip off, especially because 8 o'clock tip probably won't tip until like 8:47. So we've got some time. But how you been, dude? What's new?
Not much, man. I'm out here in Bakersfield, California, so that's something. You
My
know,
favorite taco spot in Charlotte's called Bakersfield.
yeah. Well, there's a lot of Mexican places around here. Um, Not a fan of Bakersfield. Just not
Really?
not not my people. Not my people.
Why? What's wrong with people there?
It just seems dirty. The city just seems dirty
Okay.
as a whole. It just kind of seems dirty. I don't know what it is. I had some ribs for lunch. Probably not the best decision. I'm gonna be honest with you there. So I'm just excited to get back to Newport tomorrow. Newport Beach tomorrow. It's definitely more my speed.
Yeah.
However, I will say it's like 90 degrees here. It's only like 70 degrees in Newport Beach. I completely don't understand weather. I don't get how I'm
Where?
150 miles north and it's significantly warmer here. But it leads me to a great point. Excited to be going to a baseball game tomorrow. I'm going to see the Angels play the Yankees. Going completely by myself, and that's something we need to normalize as a society. Just doing things alone, especially when you're traveling for work. Instead of just being stuck in the hotel room by yourself doing nothing. I know it sucks to get yourself up and going, but just going out and doing something. Whether it's going to a baseball game, going to a movie, dinner, the bar, anything. But but yeah, out here in California, coming off of a rough Memorial Day weekend, and probably should have known I was expecting to get a lot of work done today. Just no one's answering their emails or their phone calls.
Yeah.
Zero. So today's been a very unproductive day, apart from my one meeting.
Yeah, dude. I will say before we talk a little bit of Memorial Day weekend, you did turn me on to just going out to eat by yourself. I travel for work a lot as well. I'm not quite like you do. I'm typically just in the southeast, but what's the point of like going and picking up food and sitting in your hotel room? You end up like working way after hours and you don't get to experience the city at all. Um, Being Steven Glansberg is not always the bad thing. It's kind of fun to just go sit at the bar, watch some TV, especially if there's a game on. I know we were talking about this. I did it in Greenville not too long ago and just asked the bartender what their favorite thing was. Sat at the bar, had a couple drinks, and ordered the bartender's favorite food. And just what a good time. Baseball game, I've never done that. I mean, watching sports by yourself isn't a hard thing to do, so that could be a good time. I'm definitely excited to hear the report back.
No, it's kind of the same thing too. Just like instead of, I love a dog at the ballpark. I love a beer at the ballpark. And then
Yeah.
if I feel like leaving, I just get up and leave. Like you don't have to worry about anybody. It just kind of instead of going out to dinner, you just go to a baseball game kind of thing. You know, it not I've done it before, but looking forward to it. Should be a good time playing the Yankees. I hate the Yankees, so get to root against them.
Is that Anaheim, right?
Anaheim.
Yeah.
Anaheim. Yep. Yeah, I'm staying down like Costa Mesa, so it's like 20-30 minute drive, but they're
Yeah.
fine.
I was just peeping the map because you got me curious about the weather. So Bakersfield is 90. I wonder. I've not ever been out to Southern California, but I wonder if it's like in the valley, if it's like just hot as shit there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did drive through some hills.
It looks like it must just be in the middle of the valley, and then Newport Beach must have like a nice sea breeze. Do you remember that fat comedian Gabriel Iglesias? The guy who does the voices. He has a set in Bakersfield. That's like the only thing I've ever heard about Bakersfield. I think he's from there, and he does a whole. I can't remember the set. I just Gabriel Iglesias, the fluffy guys from Bakersfield. That's all I remember. So I know they've got good food there somewhere.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of Mexican food around here, so maybe that's what I should have gone and done. It probably should have just stuck with that, but I wasn't feeling Mexican. Living in Texas, I get enough of that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Bakersfield just seems like an interesting little city. It's just definitely a working class city for sure. It's got a little bit of a haze. It seems like a lot of dust in the air. So it being in the valley, it kind of makes sense that it's
Yeah.
a little dusty.
What'd you do for Memorial Day weekend? You mentioned it. You got a little banged up.
Yeah, I didn't do anything too crazy. I kind of ended up just being out at the pool. We had beautiful weather in Dallas. I had a couple offers to go to the lake, but I'm like, I don't really want to be 30 minutes away and have to get back. And then I didn't know anybody, really didn't know anybody out at the lake. So I was like, I'll just go to the pool. Had a great time. Then went bar hopping. And then Monday, had some bad weather. So I just sat on my couch and was supposed to recover and did not do that. Just ended up getting way too drunk yesterday. So that was my Memorial Day weekend. Nothing crazy, but it was a good kickoff for the summer. How about you?
Yeah, so Kristen had some friends in town. So I think they got in Thursday night. Thursday, pretty low key. We went to this cool little wine garden in Charlotte, and then just ordered some food and listened to live music. Nothing too crazy. Friday, office closed at noon, which was awesome to get that email across from the boss. And then we rented a boat and took a boat out on Lake Norman from like 1 to 5. Nice little just hanging around, swimming, beached up for a little bit. We drove by Bryce Young's new house. He's building a house out on Lake Norman. Dude, it is insane. He's got so it's on this peninsula basically. It's a big lake. I'm not blowing up his spot. But it's on this peninsula. It's this huge fucking house, and then it's got this it's definitely under construction. It's kind of like dark gray maybe. Very modern, like the big boxy long kind of square vibe. But he's got this sunroom basically that's just completely all windows, and the windows extend into the kitchen, and there's a whole wall of the house that's just straight windows, and it looks out on the biggest part of the lake. It's fucking sweet. There's just a bunch of trucks in there. It's definitely not done being built yet, but cool vibes. I mean, that rookie contract, I guess, must have been better than I remember. First overall pick.
It's a signing bonus. Number one overall pick.
Yeah, overall pick. But dude, it's a pad. It's an absolute pad. Cool spot. And then I'm trying to remember Saturday just brewery hopped all morning. Or I guess we just kind of hung out and day drank a little bit, and then Sunday cookout. I was pretty old man stuff this weekend. Did a lot of drinking, but not a lot of blacking out. Just drinking around food and eating.
Sometimes that's usually the better way to go at this point. But speaking of rookie contracts and young guys with a lot of money and under construction, I'm not sure if you've seen Marvin Harrison Jr. this offseason.
No, I haven't. You brought this up yesterday, and I wanted to save this so that I could see it live on.
So let me show you a picture of this man, what he did in the offseason.
Okay. I hope he got fat. Oh my. Jeez, dude. He looks way freaking bigger.
He's huge.
Yeah. Can you zoom in at all on that?
Not really here.
Okay. No worries. Dude, he's massive.
Yeah. So, I got a few thoughts on this. One, good for him. That's good. But at the same time, is that what he needed to do? I'll be interested to see, did he lose speed? Did he lose quickness? Because that's kind of how I always see him as a receiver. And when I think back to his dad as well, just being more of a skinnier receiver. I just wonder if it's going to change his play style at all. It's very interesting to see. That's a pretty dramatic shift, in my opinion.
Yeah. Do you know how much he weighed? I'm looking now. It says I think he now weighs 209. But dude, so I hear you on the is it going to change his play style? The thing that I worry about is it going to impact his hamstring injuries and things like that. I remember when Christian McCaffrey had his breakout year, his first one in Charlotte with the Panthers, and then that next year, the coaching staff wanted him to add, I think, 15 or 20 pounds of muscle so that he could take the hits because he was getting the ball every play. The Panthers had no offense at that time. Still really don't. But they added 15 or 20 pounds of muscle, and that was the year his body just broke down. He had constant hamstring injuries because it's too much weight when you're moving that quickly. Sometimes adding more weight, while yes, you can absorb more and you can take more hits, your actual hamstring, like your muscles can't handle the extra weight when you're moving that athletically and dynamically. So that would be what I'm most worried about. I mean, I he's still so young though that you would think his body can adapt. I imagine he's gonna lose speed though.
Yeah, no, that's my thing. Like, I feel like he's got to lose some speed. But I mean, that was crazy. I was really shocked to see that. Like, that was a huge change.
Yeah, I'm looking now at his at pictures of him last year, and he's way smaller. Yeah, that would be interesting.
One other thing to note, I saw this yesterday. Not sure if you remember him, but Dalvion Campbell, the receiver for South Carolina, who kind of came on late.
Yeah.
He had the huge catch in the Missouri game, a couple huge catches.
Yeah.
I thought he was gone. So I found out yesterday that he was coming back. I thought for whatever reason he was out of eligibility. Found out he's coming back next year. So I'm really excited about that, especially the way he developed late in the season. So I did not know that. I'm not sure if you were aware, but I was not.
I haven't really dove into college football yet. I'm still like, I don't need, but once basketball season ends, whether tragically or in glory, but we'll see. We'll get to that later. I'll dive into college football then, but I just haven't. I've looked a little bit at Tankathon just because I'm curious, but I'm just not ready for college football yet. I think there's too much sports that are happening live right now for me to get there yet.
Yeah, no, I get that. And then one other thing too, I'll send you over some information about this, after our show. But I found a new sports kind of like trivia football thing. It's called Gridiron Grids. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of it.
No, but I'm intrigued.
But I've recently seen that quite a bit on TikTok. I've played a few. Very fun seeing how deep your ball knowledge.
Is it different than Immaculate Grid?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It's gridirongrids.com. I can send you over some information we can talk about next show. But
okay, yeah.
That was something you want to spend some time diving into. But I'll get you some information on that. We can dive into it next show.
Okay.
But yeah. So anything else? I know I took over there a little bit, but anything you want to dive into today? We have to do that. I got to talk about this. $6 for this bottle of water is just absolutely fucking criminal. And no, it doesn't cure cancer. Like, what are we doing? Like, I'm gonna buy it, but like,
yeah.
But like, come on, like that's ridiculous. It's not even.
No, I mean, but if you're putting it on the company, like, what does it matter?
Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about it. But
so I did have a couple of things. I've got some sports things, but before we touch on that, I do have some news. We're gonna have to a tragedy that has befallen us. So Underdog Fantasy. We've played their pick'em games quite a bit. We do like making some slips on there. I fear that we might need to find a new host for those pick'ems and some of those slips we like to put together for each game. Because Underdog made a criminal decision to remove some of my favorite podcasters, Third Time's the Charm, Coley and Trill. They took them off. They fired them. They're out. No explanation, no nothing. And they're the basketball guys. It's the middle of the conference finals. Just crazy. And it makes me mad. So I'm boycotting Underdog. I'm sure they're going to really miss my couple of $100 donation per month. But I got to look for some new hosting site for my slips because you can't get rid of the basketball show where I steal a lot of my takes from right in the middle of the season or right in the middle of the conference finals. It's crazy. So, yeah, Underdog on the shit list. But other than that, I did have some things on some things that have that have amused me lately. But I think we should probably get into sports at some point here. We've been going for about 15. See if we jump into some of these current happenings.
Yeah, no, let's dive into some sports and then see where that goes, and we have time. We'll jump back into those other things.
Yeah. So we got a bunch of things right now. We got basketball going on. We got hockey going on. We have soccer just finished up. I know we have lacrosse as well. Where do you want to start?
Yeah, let's knock out soccer and lacrosse here quick. I know those will be covered to our quicker segments, and then same thing with hockey as well. And then let's build up. I think we have a lot more to talk about basketball, especially with your Pacers. Now being in a really good series here at the Knicks.
Soccer. It was the last week of all soccer, I guess, for the summer window. We still have the Club World Cup coming up. That's kind of a joke. a lot of teams aren't taking that seriously, and the teams from Europe are going to win that or dominate that regardless of what team takes it seriously. So the last week of all the major leagues wrapped up on Sunday. The Premier League had a bunch of different drama, so it was actually pretty cool. The Liverpool had already won the league, right? Arsenal had already clinched second, so there was nothing really there. But there's 5 Champions League spots available, like we talked about. Well, just to fast forward through some of this, it came down to Nottingham Forest and Chelsea were playing. The winner of that got into the Champions League. Loser was probably not going to. Chelsea did win that game, knocking Nottingham Forest out into, I think, the European Conference League, which is the 3rd tier. Chelsea got into the Champions League. Newcastle just needed to beat my Everton squad, who didn't really have anything to play for. They were locked into 13th regardless. Didn't matter. Newcastle needed to win. They were at home to get into Champions League, and they ended up losing to Everton 1-0. Just played terrible, and it almost really cost them. But Aston Villa lost to Man United at home 2-0. Man United's terrible. They're like 15th in the league. So Newcastle basically blew it, and then Aston Villa blew it bigger to knock them out. Sunderland, we've talked a lot about them. They ended up winning another crazy game in the 96th minute. They won to get promoted back to the Premier League. It's been 8 years, I think, since they last were in the Premier League, and 4 of those years they were away. They were actually in the 3rd division, so they dropped from the Premier League to the Championship to League One to League Two, and then spent some years in League Three, I believe, before finally. So they really fell. In their last 2 games, they've won in the 96th and the 95th minute. So really cool there. And then the last one, because I really only pay attention to the Premier League and Serie A. Napoli won the league. Cool. Fuck you. I'm not a Napoli fan, but congrats to them. They won the league. And Lazio absolutely fell apart, lost to a relegation side to get completely knocked out of Europe for next season. So a lot of drama, some funny stories, some absolute blowing it, but good week to soccer. The transfer window is going to start here pretty soon. It's going to be pretty entertaining, but yeah, that's the end of the soccer season going forward.
Yeah. Well, sounds like definitely a lot's happening. Again, don't really follow it myself, but glad you were entertained, I guess.
Yep, and that will give you the floor for something that I did not watch myself, but I think you
yeah. So lacrosse championships this weekend. So like soccer kind of wrapping up for the summer. I don't follow the pros too much in lacrosse, but love watching the college lacrosse, and championship weekend's always a great time. Went quite a few years growing up. It was always around me in Massachusetts, but had a pretty boring weekend actually. The first couple games of the Final Four played on Saturday. Pretty boring games, blowouts most of the way through. But then yesterday we had the championship with Cornell versus Maryland, rematch of the 2022 final where Maryland won. But Cornell kind of just was really the better team all day long. It was a very good game, interesting all the way through. Went back and forth quite a bit, but when it mattered most, Cornell kind of stayed top. Impressive to see a player like CJ Kirst, tackman from Cornell, all-time leading goal scorer in NCAA history, wrapped up his career with a 6-goal performance in the national championship game. So it's a pretty good way to go out, if I do say so myself, and tie the single-season goal record. So good game, great year for lacrosse. Unfortunately, didn't follow it too much this year, but need to get back into it next year. But it was fun. I love watching that every Memorial Day weekend. Try to find time to do it, and want to get back to doing that soon. But that's kind of a wrap up there.
Couple questions on that, because I used to follow lacrosse a lot more, I guess more in high school when my buddies were all playing lacrosse. But is the tournament just during Memorial Day weekend, or is it longer than that?
So it's most of May. So kind of May. Okay. It's kind of like March
Madness.
Yeah. Okay. So it's almost like a mini May Madness. Basically, your conference tournament kind of wraps up that first end of April, first weekend of May. Yeah. And then there's an opening round of games one weekend. Then you get the quarterfinals, and then the semifinals and championship are on Memorial Day weekend.
Is it what's it called? Series, or is it just
so it's just win and you win. Win to move on, basically.
Yeah, win and you win.
Yeah, so pretty straightforward.
English
is tough sometimes.
Win and you win. Yeah.
But yeah, no. So you can and it just kind of goes bracket style, but it's always fun. You get the 2 games on Saturday. They actually played Gillette this year, so had my parents still living in Massachusetts, I probably would have gone.
Does Harvard play at Gillette too for lacrosse? 'Cause I kept seeing Harvard logos everywhere on the field.
I do not know. It could have been Harvard Medical. Might have been Harvard Medical.
Okay.
Harvard, like,
maybe they're just sponsoring.
Yeah, who knows?
I was on
Harvard plays their stadium. They have a really nice stadium actually as well. But, as lacrosse is blown up, it's actually started to fill out Gillette a lot more than it used to. But probably could play at Harvard. Probably fill out the Harvard stadium pretty easily. But no, I don't think Harvard's been there. And it was the first time Cornell has won since I want to say 1977. And actually, looking back, I was at the game in I believe it was 2008 or 2009. Cornell was up 3 goals with 2 minutes to go to Syracuse, and they blew it on that same field. So, a little bit of redemption for them. So good for them. But yeah, definitely have a mini tournament. A lot of fun to watch.
How many guys with black mid-caps and brown Sperry's do you think are in that crowd?
So it'd definitely be white Sperry's. White mid-caps and Sperry's.
We had a lot of black mid-caps and Sperry's when I was in high school.
So
from the lacrosse contingent.
So that's how it works, though. So that's how it was for us too. Black mid-caps were cool when I went into high school. And I'm a couple years younger than you. By the time I left, we had switched over to the white mid-caps.
Gotcha.
Now white mid-caps are out. They're wearing low socks now. So I don't know if that transfers over the crowd, but
I have noticed that. Because black mid-caps were in when I was in high school, but they never went out. Makes sense. You're a couple years younger than me. But dude, I remember growing up in high school wearing ankle socks was the lamest shit you could do. Ankle socks were for dads and old people. But the black mid-caps were that's what the cool kids did. And now if you're wearing black mid-caps out anywhere, you're getting tabletop, dude. What? You can't do that.
Bring back a tabletop reference. Oh man.
Yeah. Really? I wanted to tabletop somebody this week, and that's why is on fresh on the mind.
I'm still very much in the mid-cap game. I've tried wearing the ankle socks. I don't like the way my legs look in ankle socks. Kind of freaks me out. I think I'm so ingrained in making fun of ankle socks. It's trauma where I can't go back to it.
Yeah.
Unless it moves a run, it has to be mid-calves. I'll wear other colors, but it has to be mid-calves.
Yeah, I've switched except for the gym. The gym I'll still do mid-calves. Anything athletic like soccer, running, anything basketball, I'll wear mid-calves. But just out and about, if I'm just going to a brewery or something, or I'm just even going to work on shorts day, I'm wearing the ankle socks.
I'm a big no socks guy.
I cannot do no socks.
I also wear pants almost all the time, so I'm a big dress socks guy. I love dress socks. So
dress socks are good. Dress socks are good, but I'll take any chance I can get to wear shorts instead of pants.
Oh, pants guy for life.
Yeah, he's got those scrawny legs.
I guess so, man. It's a real problem. They just don't get big.
Yeah, congrats to Cornell. I don't know how we got the socks, but yeah, congrats to Cornell. Big win, Maryland, another year. The guy that I was golfing with yesterday had a lot of money on Cornell, so shout out Riley. Good pull there. Let's just touch on a little bit of puck. Nothing much here because we don't watch it too much. The Hurricanes, I think we should start with them. Congrats, the streak is over. You did not get to 16 straight losses, so that's pretty huge. Congratulations to y'all. I thought for sure the Panthers were going to win that game, and I was going to bet on it too, but the value is I think it was minus 175 is what it closed at. Just wasn't worth it to me.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, it's a huge win. They brought in the backup goalie. He got his first start of the series, first win. So maybe that sparks something, but I just don't see them winning another game. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah.
I think it's a gentleman's sweep. I think that series is over. I mean, I just don't see it. And then
brutal to go back. It's brutal to get the win on the road and go back to your own barn.
and then just get boat raced again.
Yeah. How annoyed if you're a Panthers player, how annoyed are you that you've got to get on another flight just to sweep them and then go back home? Maybe you almost lose that one so you can win in front of your fans. Not actually, but that's demoralizing for the Canes.
Oh, for sure. And then on the other series, it looked like the Oilers had them from the get-go, and then the Stars had that unbelievable comeback in game one.
Yeah.
But ever since then, the Oilers just look so much better. Series has been a little chippy, but the Stars need something. They need something to happen, big time. They play tonight. They need a big win tonight, or just throw a little bit of life. But otherwise, the Oilers are playing really, really good hockey right now. and they're playing their best hockey at the right time. So
Yeah.
that's where that's going. I kind of see the Oilers getting it. I see both series ending in a gentleman's sweep. I could see maybe the Stars getting one more win that goes to 6, but we'll see.
I actually have the Stars tonight. I took them plus 1.5, and I took a money line. So I'm hoping for a big showing by the boys in green.
It is at home. It is at home. Great fans, and I think
the Stars are good. I think it sucks, dude. It sucks because I think the Stars or Oilers are the two best teams left. I mean, I don't know. I don't watch.
Panthers are playing really well
Panthers
too.
are pretty good. Panthers are pretty good. Yeah, no, it's just one team that's not good, and it's the Hurricanes. God, I almost want Oilers and Stars though. I just don't want to watch the Panthers win again. So whoever wins the West is who I'm rooting for.
Fuck Panthers. Yeah. Well, hey, speaking of fuck the West, let's jump into some basketball here.
Yeah. Touch base and a little round ball because there's a lot going on, man.
Let me make one comment though before we talk about actual basketball.
Yeah.
I fucking hate it when the Timberwolves are referred to as the Wolves, or I see a graphic where they're just the Wolves. I hate it. I don't know what it is. Drives me insane.
How do you feel about the T-Wolves?
T-Wolves I'm fine with. I need T-Wolves or Timberwolves. If it's just Wolves, I fucking hate it though.
Yeah.
I can't stand it.
This is a side tangent. When you think of the Timberwolves, who's the first player you think of? Yeah, that's the right answer. Because especially when you say T-Wolves, I can see that old Garnett T-Wolves.
Oh, yeah.
Like the 20, I think he was 21, right? The first NBA Live, that's how old this game was. It's NBA Live before 2K owned everything. I want to say it was Carmelo Anthony, like 04 or 05 maybe. And it was the best players in the game was like Kobe, LeBron, and then Kevin Garnett was like the third best player in the league. He had a 98 rating. And I just remember Kevin Garnett was such a bad boy with those. The number 21 T-Wolves jersey went so hard. Sorry, side note. I just love Kevin Garnett.
Kevin Garnett rocks. Or the video. I also always think that guy dancing in the stands video, and he comes back like 20 years later.
Yes,
that's a classic. That's a classic.
That is awesome.
For these kids.
All right, so yeah, let's start with the West because obviously I've got more to talk about on the East. There's been 3 games since we last talked. The first game, the Thunder came out and looked just like what we expected. Game 2, kind of same thing. And then game 3, Saturday night, the Timberwolves 42 points. And the Timberwolves have not looked close in this series yet. And right now the point differential is pretty close because of the 42-point win.
Yeah, here's the thing. I think what happened is it's one of those where it's like, shit, we're not going to get them tonight. Tonight's not our night.
Yeah.
We're not going to try. Like, fuck it. We're just airmailing it in. I could see the series going 6, actually, surprisingly. But I do think it's over. I think it's going to be a gentleman's sweep as well.
Yeah.
I thought it was too good. And I still think the Timberwolves are going to do anything. So that's what that is. And the Thunder are playing really consistent basketball.
Mm-hmm.
But let's just ignore game 3. Let's just ignore game 3 when I'm talking about this. But, like, the Thunder are playing really, really consistent basketball. And I actually heard something that take this morning. It's like, you think the super team era is over. But it's like, well, if you look at the Thunder are kind of built to become a super team based off their drafting.
Yeah.
They kind of drafted into it.
Yeah, Chet. I think Chet's his 3rd year. Jalen Williams, 3rd year. Shea is 26. They still have all of the Paul George picks. They haven't made any of those picks yet, is what I was reading.
Mm-hmm.
And like, okay, are you going to be able to keep some of these other players like a Hartenstein next year? If y'all don't, probably not. But you have other like you just have to hit on some of those picks. Like you can get a younger, cheaper Hartenstein down the road that could make a huge difference, or even like a Caruso. Caruso's been huge for them this year, but could you get a younger, cheaper Caruso? Caruso, I think, is 28 or 29 maybe. Could you get a younger Caruso in the draft with one of all these picks, or could you trade a couple of these guys and bring in one more bigger piece and shrink your bench up a little bit, knowing that you have draft picks that are going to be a lot cheaper if you just hit on a couple? The Thunder, there's so much the Thunder could do, and it's a bit terrifying. The Paul George trade, the fingerprints on these 4 teams, specifically 2 of them, just from Paul George is crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and it's also crazy to think like with all the resources they have in the upcoming drafts, I think the Thunder are just going to keep getting better and more comfortable playing with each other over the next 2 to 3 years. Like the Thunder, I mean, it's not guaranteed. Nothing's guaranteed. Injuries happen. You put the wrong pieces in place, it doesn't mesh well. But I think over the next 2 to 3 years, the Thunder is going to keep getting better, and it's up to the rest of the league to match that. Because right now, I think they're far and away the best team in the NBA left. I mean, because unfortunately, the Celtics are going to have to reload that roster. This was maybe we get one more run next year. Maybe.
I don't think so, man. Not without Tatum.
Yeah, it's interesting to see, but like, I mean, we'll talk about the Pacers and the Knicks, but I think that right now the Thunder are a step above everybody else, in my opinion.
No doubt.
They're in a position to continue to get better, which is a very scary thought for everybody else in the league.
Yeah, you talk about asset management, and they've just managed every single asset they've acquired so well, whether it be making smart trades, whether it be knowing when to move on. Like that Paul George, Russell Westbrook team, 95% of people could tell with the way the West was going that team was never going to compete just with the 2 salaries they had on those 2 stars, the way they played together. So many teams would just, rinse and repeat. I mean, the Blazers did it for years with CJ and Dame, knowing it wasn't going to work. And the Blazers are now in full rebuild mode. And the Thunder, instead of that, they could have just doubled down on Steven Adams and Russ and Paul George. I think they might have even had Carmelo was on the Rockets. Never mind. But they could have doubled down, but they knew when to cut. It was almost like how Bill Belichick with the Patriots would know when to move on from somebody. They moved on and they strengthened when other teams were willing to overpay, and they bet on themselves making the right picks, and it's worked out. I just think what they've done has been a masterclass of asset management, and it makes me very nervous and very jealous. We'll get to the Pacers one a little bit, but I think that a lot of the fun things, quote unquote fun things that people online talk about with the Pacers, how they're young, they run. The Thunder are kind of just a better version of all of that, down to the Pacers have built a team through smart trades, and the Thunder are even better at that than the Pacers. So it makes me sad and nervous about what they could be going forward.
Yeah, and maybe Nico Harrison, about 3 hours south of Oklahoma City, could maybe take a few notes on asset management and what not to do.
Hey, who knows? Who knows, man? He sold. Maybe he made a great play by selling Luka per the NBA's requirement, so that he could cash in on the Cooper Flag, kickback pick later. Maybe this will be a masterclass. Who knows?
We'll see. Hey, and I'll put my hand up and say, hey, I was wrong, but
yeah,
I don't see that hand coming up.
No, me neither. But it's interesting, dude. I look back at this bracket before we get into it, and I completely forget about the Thunder playing the Grizzlies or the Cavs playing the Heat. Like, Nuggets Clippers was a great series. It just feels like 100 years ago. This has been a solid playoffs. Like, good teams have shown their prowess against bad teams to get us through the kind of the duller rounds. But then each round there's been at least 1 or 2 series that have been entertaining in some capacity. And it's typically involving the Nuggets. But OKC is going to take this one home. I think going back to Oklahoma City, I think they're going to win, and I think they're going to cover the 8.5. I know that line will probably change tomorrow, but
I think it's the Thunder's championship to lose. Both at the Western and just the overall NBA championship. Now, with that being said, let's talk a little about who they might be facing. So I'll let you kind of get your initial thoughts on how this series has gone so far from you. Last time we had connected, it was
they hadn't played a game yet.
Right before game 1. So
let's
get your thoughts.
We'll talk about game 1. What a game. We had just gotten off, and Pacers were down. I mean, going into the series, I expected the Knicks to win game 1. They've played us pretty well all season. coming out juiced up after beating the Celtics and after us beating them last year. I just expected them to come out real hot. They did. But I did not expect Jalen Brunson to get benched with 5 fouls. And then as the Pacers are coming back in the fourth quarter or the end of the third quarter, they just go on a 14-0 run to basically take the Pacers out of the game. It was like, I think they were up 16 at one point in the fourth quarter. And then Aaron Nesmith went absolutely nuclear, hit 5 straight threes.
Former Celtics draft pick.
Yeah, I thought you – okay, yeah. Hey, you got Malcolm Brogdon out of that trade. That was good for a year. And Malcolm Brogdon got you Drew Holiday. So, but he went absolutely nuclear after the game. He was like talking to Chuck. He said, "I figured they'd guard me at some point. They just didn't." I mean, he was walking into wide open threes. Just made 5 in a row. And then Brunson comes back in, and the Pacers. That's when the Pacers really closed down the deficit. Obviously, the Halliburton shot to the moon, the ball that Jim Irsay caught from heaven and dropped back into the basket to send that to overtime. Man, do I wish, even though we won overtime, I still wish that that would have been a 3 and just ended the game there. The choke would have been so much harder. Knicks fans were complaining and bitching about a missed goaltend. There was also a missed Obi Toppin and 1 dunk at the very end, so it's a wash. Get over it. But yeah, just absolutely stole one on Jim Irsay Day. Never going to lose Jim Irsay Day. Game 2 was.
Let me make a quick comment there, though.
Yeah.
I think I saw some statistic that I could be completely wrong in this, but all teams in NBA history had been 0 in like 970 something like that. And
down
in that timeout.
Down 7 with a minute, or it was either down 7 with a minute left or down 9 with like 75 seconds, something like that. Yeah, absolutely insane. The cardiac Pacers did it again, but I've got another stat that I heard on a podcast this morning that kind of goes. I'll share in a second. But game 2, that was Friday night. That was just a really good game. I think both teams played really well. The Pacers kind of got away towards the very end, but Jalen Brunson just taking a really stupid 3. Did not need to do it at the end of game 2. And then Mikal Bridges fighting for a rebound. Ball goes out on him. Pacers get the game. Just really, really awesome basketball so far, game 2. And then game 3, obviously, yesterday. Was it? Yeah, yesterday.
Yep.
No, it was Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah. Pacers are dominating, absolutely dismantling the Knicks in the second quarter. And then there was just like a little 7-0 run, I think, to end the second quarter. Knicks only down 13, and then the Knicks just go on a run in the third quarter and ultimately outscore the Pacers by, I want to say 12 or 14 in the fourth quarter to just run away with the game. After 3 games of the Eastern Conference Finals, the Knicks are the only team, I think, in NBA history to come back 3 different times in the same playoffs, down 20 and win. And the Pacers are the only team ever to be down 7 or more points with under a minute and win all 3 games. So we've got just kind of like a cardiac kids battle. Whoever is up, whoever looks more surefire to win is going to lose. If there's like a plus 350 or higher live money line with 6 minutes left to go in the third quarter, if there's a plus 350 or higher, I would take it. It's just kind of how this series is going. The Pacers went from basically clinching the series to blowing a lead, and now this is a absolutely massive game. If they lose, they go back into New York with the crowd back behind New York, believing in themselves, and you could very easily get Suns Bucks here, where Suns were up 2-0 and then just lost the next 4, or you could steal this one back, go into New York 3-1. Hopefully they're feeling a little deflated, backs against the wall. The pressure might be too big for players like Cat, Mikal Bridges, and Brunson. It's not going to be too big for him. But this game went from not as huge to absolutely pivotal in like 15 minutes of game time yesterday. Aaron Nesmith is going to be the key. Is he healthy? How injured is he? Because he's the main defender on Jalen Brunson. So that's going to be the biggest thing to watch. Can he play? And then we can't be missing threes. yeah, I'm still optimistic, but this is now a huge game.
Yeah, no, I think it definitely is a huge game. The momentum's kind of where it is. This definitely is a game where you can't get blown out.
No.
And another thing on that too is you got to be rooting not to go up by 20 points in the Knicks. Keep it at 19, nothing more. You don't. 19's fine. Don't touch 20. Don't touch 20. But I know you said you're optimistic. What do you lay out? How you think the rest of the series goes for me? How does tonight go? And then how do the following games go?
If I didn't have any rooting interest, I would bet the Pacers. I'm not betting the Pacers because I don't want to lose twice if they don't come out strong. I do think the Pacers still win tonight. And I think, like we said at the beginning, I think they still win in 6. I kind of think the home teams win out here, and that's how the series ends. But I was pretty confident in Game 3 that we would win that, and we didn't. So I still feel good about Pacers in 6 because take the 20-point lead out of it. If we split in New York and then we win Game 3, I'm happy with 2-1 in the 4th game. It's just what I saw have to happen to get here that makes me a little nervous for this game. But I still think Pacers in 6. I think they're going to win this game. I don't know that if I was playing the Pacers, I would just play Pacers money line. I wouldn't play the points. The 3.5 makes me nervous, but I think as long as Nesmith is healthy enough, then we have a real shot. If he's not, I'm not sure what we're going to do from a guarding Brunson standpoint, because Benedict Mathurin has just proven he's not ready for this moment. He's just not, and I love Benny Matz. I think he's really good. I just don't think since getting thrown out of the game against the Bucks, he's just not performed in the playoffs. So Nesmith is very important. I do think the Pacers win in 6, so to answer your question.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. However, I could very easily see tonight costing you guys the series. Like if they don't play well tonight, if they come out lose, just don't look as good.
Yeah,
the Knicks are going to come in way too hot to Madison Square Garden. I think if they win tonight, that you guys don't. I think irregardless, no matter really what happens tonight, they win in New York.
Yeah, I do too.
I just think that's how it's going to go. I don't think they'd get closed out at home.
Winner of this game wins the series. I think it's that simple.
I don't know if I completely agree with that. I mean, I think if Indiana wins, they do. I could see for whatever reason the Knicks nicking in Game 7 at home, just choking. Just cool. With all the Pacers history with the Knicks, I would just love to see them just fall apart in Game 7 at home. Like that would be poetic to me. So
the problem is people forget that the Reggie Miller original choke game, the Pacers actually lost that series. So
yeah, hey, get some redemption for Reggie.
Yeah, that's right. Reggie's on the call, dude. The Knicks fans belly aching about Reggie Miller being on the call. By the way, when last year
it kind of is a little bit of bullshit.
Okay, but last year, guess who was on every pregame and on SportsCenter all day talking about the game was Stephen A. Smith. So okay, you got to deal with it during the game. Stephen A. Smith is on nonstop all week, every day. So I mean, get over it. And Reggie's also been remarkably respectful. I know people just in New York hate his voice and hate everything about him. I get that. That's sports, whatever. But it's not like he's been a dickhead at all.
No,
he's been relatively fair. Yeah, I mean, I love the bad blood, and
you have to it's what makes sports great.
Yeah, and I feel like we have 4 fun teams. Like, there's no team specifically that I don't want to see play in the finals. Obviously, I'm biased and want, but like in a vacuum, I think all of these teams are interesting in some way for the finals. But the Pacers are playing. I don't know if they're playing this at the right time or if they're playing their wild card a bit too early. John Halliburton will be back in the building tonight.
That's just wild. That whole situation is just.
John Halliburton will be in the building tonight.
Is this confirmed? I saw he was potentially going to be allowed back.
He was reinstated, and as far as I know, he will be. This is per Brian Windhorst. So, Wendy, I don't know Wendy to be a liar, but Yes, he will be in a suite. He will not be. He will not be courtside. He will not.
Probably the right way to go about it.
He will not have access to the Knicks bench, but he will be back in the building. They're going to show him. I heard this from Wendy too. Apparently, the Halliburton parents are just trolls. So, did you hear about what his mom did after Game 1?
No.
So after the Pacers win that huge game, and I believe Wendy said this on Part of My Take, just to quote my sources. But after that huge upset, Tyrese Halliburton's mom goes to the Today Show. She wakes up at 8 a.m. to get in and waits at the Today Show outside of New York with a Go Pacers sign, like in downtown Manhattan, just standing like 8 a.m. the day after the Knicks blew that game, just holding a Go Pacers sign. In the background of the Today Show. Yeah, so if you got the mom doing that and the dad trying to fight Giannis, just what a family.
That must have been an interesting childhood.
Dude, just some kids from Wisconsin.
I mean, I wonder what was going down at like his AAU tournaments growing up. He was probably that crazy dad in the stands for sure.
Dude, there's a picture of him, Tyrese Halliburton, with Tyler Harrow from the Wisconsin AAU circuit. I think they look like they're 12, but just how terrifying of a team that would be.
Dude, what's up with Wisconsin putting out all these superstar basketball players? You wouldn't expect that. At least I wouldn't have.
Same with South Carolina, dude. We talked about it the other day. South Carolina pumps out some ballers. Yeah, I guess that's my round ball roundup, I guess you could call it. I'm excited for the game.
That's a good little segment.
Round ball roundup. Yeah, I'm excited about the game, but I won't lie, I'm nervous. But this is what you play for.
That's a good round ball roundup. Like that.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of tongue twister. I'm gonna have to practice saying that.
Leave that to me.
But dude, it is kind of interesting, as we only have really so many games left, both basketball and hockey, and then we're kind of in the dog days of summer where don't get me wrong, days are nice, a lot more things to do, but it's a lot going on. And I know you mentioned this yesterday, and I think you're going, I want to say sometime this week, but a bunch of movies you're looking forward to catching up with.
Yes.
This summer.
Yes. So I was actually supposed to go. My girlfriend and I bought the AMC whatever VIP pass thing. It was like $50 for the year, and every Tuesday it's half price movies, and then free refills, popcorn, drinks, all that stuff. But we've been going on Tuesdays. We saw The Accountant 2 a couple weeks ago. We're supposed to go see Lilo and Stitch tonight because I'm a dumbass and I didn't think about the days. So we had to cancel that. We're going to go tomorrow now. Fortunately, she had book club, so I didn't get screwed over that. But yeah, I was going to go see Lilo and Stitch tonight. Going to see it tomorrow. But there's just been some good movies coming out. I'm pulling it up right now. Just a peek at what's going on. Obviously, we have Accountant 2 just came out. Lilo and Stitch, which I'm pumped about. I know one that you wanted to talk about with Jurassic World Rebirth. Is that the one?
Yes, it is. But there's also a couple other ones that came out. The Amateur came out earlier this summer with Rami Malek, or whatever his name is, Rami Malek. I'm not great with actor name. I want to see that one. But Jurassic Rebirth, I'm super excited for. The trailers got me locked in. I'm a big dinosaur fan, so real excited about that one. But
new Avatars coming out this summer too, Fire and Ash. Where do you stand on the Avatar series so far? I think of the two that's been out so far.
I love the first one.
Yeah.
Second one, I can take it or leave it.
See, my thing, and this is stupid because I love Lord of the Rings, as we talked about. I know you do as well. Avatar, I think I like the second one. It's just the movies are so long, they're not approachable to rewatch. So like I've only seen the second one once in theaters. It was great. I liked it, but it's when I'm looking at like rewatchability and movies that are already in my kind of rewatch Rolodex, if you will, it's tough for me to get all the way back into Avatar. That said, I'm gonna definitely go watch this new one. It's called Fire and Ash, but it's 3 hours and 12 minutes. Like that's a long fucking movie.
Yeah, like it's a serious commitment.
Yeah.
Here's the one thing I've never fully understood about the Avatar movies. I just don't think humans are taking over those creatures. I think those
No.
humanoids. Like, that's the one thing that's just unrealistic. I don't think we're invading that planet, and those things aren't just fucking our day up. Especially how connected they are. Like, I just don't fully grasp that part. I know it's a movie, which does bring me to a quick segment I want to talk about. Humans versus dinosaurs. Do you think if humans are put on Earth at the same time as dinosaurs, stark naked, do we survive? Do we find ways to beat dinosaurs and without getting eaten alive before we can develop? Because obviously we're smarter and we can develop to get smart. But are we able to do that with dinosaurs around?
So it's an interesting question because at first blush, I'm thinking like, does this idiot think we can beat dinosaurs like this gorilla thing again? But the way you pose it is interesting. Let me think. I do think we survive. I don't think it's because we figured out a way to beat the dinosaurs. I think we understand our place in the food chain and we survive that way. Like, we still might be hunting. We'll still definitely be hunting. I'm sure we'll be farming in some capacity, but we're not going to be the top of the food chain. We're not going to be the most dominant.
So we're never developing like cities. We're never getting to the point we are today where it's like, we run shit. It's like we're just surviving around doing small things.
Yeah. I think we're surviving we're surviving more like the people in Paradise, which I just finished yesterday. We'll get into that. But we're building cities, but we're building them in caves where we can kind of protect, almost like in 300 where they specifically pick where they're fighting from. So only so many of the Persians can get in. I think we're picking somewhere to set up our civilization that we can either roll a rock in front of, or it's too small for one of the big dinosaurs. Like, I think we're going to be fine with like the velociraptors of the world. But I think that we're just going to understand and accept that the T-Rexes are higher on the food chain and we're going to work around their schedule. Like, we're going to stay away from them and build our cities more in hiding. But we're not just going to be independent tribes like hiding in groups of 4 or 5. I think we would ultimately still collect in some sort of larger capacity. But yeah, no, we're not. We're still losing to that T-Rex like 9 out of 10 times.
Okay. All right. I like that take. Now, I've been waiting to talk to you about this all day. I really wanted to get into it yesterday. What are your thoughts on the end of Paradise?
So, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Paradise, obviously we're going to get into it. What a good show. First off, let me start with that. What a good show. It reminded me a little bit, and let me get through this thought before you roast me for it. It reminds me a little bit about Game of Thrones in the sense that they'll kill off anybody. Now, granted, it's only 8 episodes into the first season, so it's hard to say that. I'm thinking specifically of Billy Pace. That killed me. But it's weird because, again, great show. It almost feels like through 7 episodes, the first 7 episodes, that it's going to be a limited series, right? So you almost feel like you're going to get a resolution at the end. And then towards episode 7, like, you realize, okay, this is gonna keep going. But then you find out who killed the president in the last episode. So it's like, what are we looking for now? Like, what's the next thing? I'm curious about what season 2 is going to even be about. But incredible show. Jane is fucking hilarious and crazy. Like, when she comes after she shoots Sinatra and she's like, probably should have just given me the Wii. I was pissing myself, dude. I thought that was so funny. She gets so mad about this fucking Wii. But yeah, great show. You mentioned when we were talking about it that you didn't like episodes 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, where they give a lot of the backstory about Cal. Were you just like fucking with me, or did you actually not like those as much? Did you think those were slower?
So I thought 5 and 6 were slower. Yeah. 7's my favorite episode. 7's hands down the best. Like, penultimate episode's unbelievable.
Right.
7. But it was like almost like too much of the background where it's like, and I should say I dislike them, but like, you have to think about it from my perspective too. You got to watch it all. Hey, I can just watch the next episode. Yeah. I had the build-up episodes suck when you're just stuck there and you have to wait.
Okay.
So I don't get my resolution. I'm stuck on it. Like I have to wait a week. So it made them worse episodes. I knew they were relevant and necessary, but like episode 7 was incredible because it's like you get so much information that kind of ties everything together, and then it progresses to the next level. And to make
episode 7 is like the day the hurricane, or the day all the shit's happening, right?
Yeah,
dude, that fucking wave that mows that lady down. Oh my god. She's looking, and she's like, what's everyone looking at? And then all of a sudden you just see it coming over the buildings. That thing was insane.
And then, well, your point too on season, exactly. Like, how do people survive? That's what season 2 is going to be. It's him going out into the world.
Oh, true. Yeah, duh.
But like, it's going to be a completely different show. Like, it's not going to like. It's almost like season 1 was the background. Here's how we got to here. Now this is the start of the show. It's almost like that was like a, prologue, and now we have the actual show starting, which means the show could fucking suck. Like I could watch the first episode and be like, fuck this, I'm just gonna pretend this doesn't exist. I'm gonna end on that one season. That's it. But it could be really good too. Like there's a lot up for debate. We have no idea which direction that's gonna go.
Dude, I will say, like, I liked those back, and it's true. I didn't think about like not being able to continue watching after you get those the setup episodes. Dude, the day that Cal dies, what a sad day that was. He just gets sucker punch, kick in the nuts, punch in the gut. Like, he had a bad day that day.
Real rough.
Everyone bailed on him or told him they hate him. Dude, like, I felt so bad for him.
He kind of seems like a likable guy. Like, at the end of the day.
He's so likable.
Yeah, like, he was a good character. I hope he keeps staying in. Like we keep getting the flashbacks. I think those are really neat.
But I was bummed at the beginning when he dies because I do like that actor. Whose name is James
Marsden.
Yeah, I like that actor. But I like that I like the flashbacks and getting to know. I did pick out that when they're doing the whole background of digging the mines, and I guess the guy that we're supposed to assume is in love with the black guy that dies in the mine from poisoning, like the old super that gets locked out. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The second they show him, I remembered him from the interview, like trying to shoot President Cal at the interview. I never realized he was the librarian. Never got that. I did. This is like the sick puppy in me. I rewatched him fall through the ceiling like 2 or 3 times. It's just the body flies through the air. I watched that 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. You're like my Instagram algorithm. Jesus.
Yeah. Well, at first I was like confused. I was like, where are they standing? Because then he falls through the thing, and then I thought I was just like kind of tripping. So I went back and I saw it, and I thought it was kind of funny. So I watched it again.
And also to jump back to your comment, Jane terrifies me. I don't know what Sinatra was thinking. Listen, you hired this crazy bitch. Why the fuck are you not giving her what she wants? This chick, clearly insane, has some real issues.
But now I'm curious, does Jane play a bigger part because she was like, you're no use to me dead, and he was going to kill you?
I think Jane's going to start trying to take shit over. Jane's going to become a real villain, and Jane's terrifying. She's a great actress.
She's terrifying, but like, is she? She's like,
well, she's a trained killer in a bunch of different ways, and like deception. Yeah. She looks like a super spy of some sort. Yeah. I want to know. Here's what I want to get into. I want to get into the backstory of Jane. How did Jane become this crazy bitch, or like have all these skills? That's what I'd like to know.
No, I agree with that. I'm still confused on Sinatra and like what he's supposed to do. Or what she's supposed to do, and I need to know how she came to full power.
So that I give you a little bit of background. It's just because she had money. She had a shit ton.
Why is she the one who's pulling all the triggers now?
Because the reason being is because she's the one that kind of like founded the city, and she got the group together to pay for everything. So because she built it, she kind of makes herself put in charge, and it's kind of supposed to be a depiction of like modern day politics where it isn't really the president strings, it's just his donors behind the scenes that do everything. Actually, like kind of like we don't really know who the real face of the things is.
Yeah,
I think that's supposed to be like a theme, which, based off the recent Biden news, let's not pray for speedy recovery, but not politics. But I think that's supposed to be kind of like theme of it.
Yeah. Okay. I see that. Yeah, I'm excited for the second season. I am. That's going to be the nice thing about the break in sports is coming home, like grilling up some food and then watching a show. Like this, it's going to be nicer outside, but I'm not going to be up until 11:30 watching a game, or I'll be able to like get through some shows that I've kind of had backlogged through the summer. So I'm excited for that. Now, the last thing I'll kind of say on Paradise, when the people in the White House start getting the news, because Cal's like, I've got to tell them what's going on, and just the anarchy, the people getting shot. The one guy who's like, it's first day, he's like, I'm going where you're going, and then the black cop, I can't remember her name, just blows his brains out. Just like people getting shot.
It was anarchy.
It was anarchy. It was exactly what I would expect. It kind of reminded me of some of the scenes in I Am Legend. When they're like trying to rush people in and out of places. It kind of reminded me of that. But I'm excited to see what's out there. I think we're going to get a little. Did you ever have to read The Road by Cormac McCarthy in school? It's basically about post-apocalyptic. I can't say that word. Civilization where there's like cannibals roaming the streets. It's almost like a serious version of This Is the End with Danny McBride's characters just roving the streets with his like sex-riddled terrible people. It's kind of like that, but more serious. So I'm interested to see what that's going to be like. I like you said, I hope they don't fuck the show up with that. Like I would rather just have been a limited series than be like 3 seasons too long with a dumb plot.
Yeah. No, I agree. We'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to it. See how it turns out. But yeah, no, that was good. I know I'm not sure how much more you have to cover. I know we have a top 5 coming up here.
Yeah.
I have a few fire questions I want to throw at you, but I'm not sure you wanted to go over.
No, so the one thing I had, I've done a deep dive into flamingos recently, but I think we should save that for another show. Let's touch on that later because we are a little over an hour here, and I know we got to get ready and get dinner before this game. But yeah, hit me with some rapid fire questions before we get into this draft. Because
first one's more of a comment.
This draft is gonna be tough. When I was doing some research earlier, it's gonna be a tough one.
First thing is, I just kind of came to this realization the other week. We never talk about music. I'm not even sure I really know what music you like. I know it's country, I think, at least from a somewhat standpoint.
Yeah.
But I just thought about that we strictly stick to sports. Not a bad thing. I'm not really a big music guy myself. Don't know a ton about music. I like what I like. But that was just kind of an interesting thought I had. The other one is go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm the same. I drive so much for work that I just spilled all my water. I drive so much for work that like I don't listen to a lot of music. I gotta get this. Just at some point I've become very aware that each song is like 2.5, 3 minutes, and it starts getting old to me. Like it makes road trips to me feel longer. So I listen to a lot of podcasts. I work out to podcasts sometimes too because I'm a huge psychopath. But as far as music goes, I like all kinds. Right now it's summer, so I do like some country, especially if I'm out on the water. I like a lot of indie, like folk kind of vibes, Mount Joy, Camp, Noah Khan, different stuff like that. And then I'm getting back in on my rap game. I don't know why. Summer sometimes makes me want to listen to rap. So I was actually cruising through Dumb and Dumber by Dolph and Key Glock today. I like all of Lil Wayne's stuff because I'm a child of the 90s and early 2000s. But Future, as far as rap goes, is probably my number one. But, dude, I like all music. I think there's a time and place for all of it. I was listening to some disco on the beach the other day, which was pretty fun. Sister Sledge, and then like I'll listen to EDM sometimes, especially if I'm snowboarding and had a couple gummies and riding down the mountain. I think that's a good vibe too. So I'm pretty all over the place, but I'm more of a music enjoyer than a music finder. I wait for other people to play good music, and then I'll either Shazam it or I'll just throw it on to like I just kind of hit shuffle on liked songs when I get in the car, and I don't really have playlists. I always play from the very beginning of my 15,000 songs I have saved. and just kind of go that way.
Yeah, so I had in my notes. I bet it's very similar to me, and that was actually pretty much the same as mine. I'm not as big on the disco EDM, but I'll listen to pretty much any music.
Yeah.
Don't know much about music, but if I hear a good song, I'm into it.
Yeah.
I do listen to it when I work out, especially rap. Rap's like one time I really listen to rap.
Yeah.
I have done the podcast thing as well, though. Okay, moving on. Another quick one. Thoughts on amusement parks?
Dude, so I was always kind of a pussy, and I did not fuck with heights. I did not like going upside down. Roller coasters, not my game. I loved water parks, even though looking back now, at the age I'm at, water parks are kind of fucking gross. Knowing that and acknowledging that, I would still go to a water park today. I don't know that I'd go to an amusement park today. Like I would ride a water slide. I wouldn't do a roller coaster probably. And like once I have kids, maybe. But I've never fucked with amusement parks. I think the food is good because it's like shitty, so terrible for you. But I'll just go to the fair for that. What do you think? I'm a
huge person. I'm actually going to a couple with my cousin next week.
You are huge?
Love roller coasters. Love them.
Yeah.
Love them. I also like skydiving and like scuba dives. Like I like the thrill. But I can't handle them like I used to. Like I have to make sure I prep. Like give me some boat time, motion tickets. I'm usually rocked, and I do love the food. You can see me mowing down a turkey leg at an amusement park. Mowing one down.
I grew up going to a lot of amusement parks. I lived right next to King's Dominion growing up, and that's like pretty solid amusement park. That's right where the Virginia State Fair is too. Secretariat's Farm is right next to it. And my dad, when he was at William and Mary down in Williamsburg, we used to go to Busch Gardens all the time.
Love Busch Gardens.
Busch Gardens was the shit because you have
Busch Gardens is sick.
You have all the different stuff. Like you've got Italy and you've got France, the new France, where they have all the barbecue chicken all day and it's like out there smoking. Like that shit is fun. But like I like amusement parks, I guess. I like Busch Gardens because there's a theme. Everything's kind of cool. I'm not a big rides guy anymore though. I don't really want to be in the rides. But now that you say that, I kind of want to go back to Busch Gardens and just see what's going on.
See, I like the whole thing. I like the experience and the rides. But
But see, I love a water park. I've always loved the water park.
I'll put myself in gross situations. I really don't care. Like I know I'll knowingly go into it. Just like getting into a pool, I know everyone's peed in. Cool.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna pee. Dude, you know that big ass bucket at the water park? Dude, I love the bucket.
Absolutely.
Especially as a kid, you're coming around the corner and the bucket's like tipping and you just take off into a dead sprint and get under the bucket and like knocks you down. Or like
dude, or you see that little kid that waters away from his parents and just gets wiped out.
Leveled, dude. I don't know why, but at every water park I've ever been to, it's the black slide. But you wait for like 2 hours going up this freaking line to the top of the water slide tower to go on that one that goes straight down. You wait 2 hours and the ride's over in like 10 seconds. Dude, maybe we need to go to an amusement park. Maybe we need to go back to Busch Gardens. Go back to Busch Gardens or something. Dude, the other thing. So you went to Busch Gardens, I'm assuming, yeah?
I went to one in Tampa, so I went to a different Busch Gardens. But it's the same concept.
Busch Gardens, Africa.
Yeah, that one's sick.
Okay. I went to Busch Gardens.
Safari and everything. You get the animals. It's awesome.
See, I've never done that. I went to Busch Gardens, Europe. And they had like the Festhaus, which was a German food hall. They had dancing and shit. Then they had like a reconstruction of the Colosseum for Italy. Some cool stuff. Yeah, maybe I'll have to go check it out again. Go back to Busch Gardens. Yeah.
Okay, and one last thing. Speaking of foreign foods, or I guess not really foreign at all, actually. Oysters. What are your thoughts on oysters?
Speaking of foreign foods, so I'm actually allergic to raw oysters. They make me sick as shit. And
lucky dog, dude.
Even before they were not high on my list of foods. It's just like they don't fill you up. They look nasty. They taste like boogers. They're salty. They're slimy. I don't get it. I've got some more takes on that, but what are your thoughts on oysters?
Dude, just gross. I keep trying to get into them because everyone likes them.
Yeah.
I love fried oysters. And
I can do fried oysters.
I bring this up because last week I was actually at a bar here.
Yeah.
I was doing all-you-eat crab buffet. Unreal, by the way. And the guy was like, hey, do you want an oyster? I was like, fuck it, I'll take a free oyster. Ripped it. I was like, I actually enjoyed that, which is funny because a girl I was seeing, it's just she's like, yeah, I'll get you into oysters. Problem is, you're doing East Coast oysters and not West Coast oysters. And I was like, okay, that relationship crashed and failed, so we never got to do West Coast oysters together. But maybe she was on something. I don't know.
So you like West Coast oysters, not East Coast?
I don't know. I had one. I had one, and I liked it last week. It might be something I gave a try. Who knows?
Okay. What kind of crab feast we talking?
Dude, it was all you can eat snow crab.
Legs?
Yeah.
Okay. I love crab legs. Absolutely love crab legs. I hate picking crab.
Oh, is it nice?
It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time.
That's why I left. I got it wasn't the point where I was full enough. I wouldn't have to go get a steak after because I wasn't full. It was just it was like I would just pound I can't do this anymore. I'm covered in this stuff. My hands suck.
No, but so I'm not talking about. I'm talking about picking the little blue crabs, like the tiny ones with no meat on them.
Well, see, even the legs, you still have to pull them out, and it's not like king crab, so they're still kind of a pain to pick.
Yeah,
and you just get exhausted.
King crab is the way to go.
Yeah, for sure. But this is snow crab. But okay, let me get your last thoughts on oysters, and then we'll jump into this draft so we can get you dinner and ready for your game.
No, my last thought on oysters was I hate picking crabs. That was it.
Hell of a transition.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it was your
Yeah, so I'll kind of set this up. We were talking about it earlier. I was supposed to go see Lilo and Stitch tonight before I realized the Pacers are playing tonight. And it got us thinking. Disney and Pixar have come up with a lot of animated movies over the years. I know we touched a little bit on animated dogs last week, so we kind of thought maybe keep the animated trend going to movies. And I've got a question for you. So I wrote mine in two separate lists. I wrote mine Disney movies without Pixar, and I wrote Disney Pixar movies because I wasn't expecting to be as many great movies as there was. Do you want to just continue to go for the whole kit and caboodle, pick our top 5 out of each, or do you want to split it up?
Let's just do the whole kit and caboodle.
Okay.
Just because I didn't separate mine.
Yeah,
I think I probably cut off the top of my head, but I don't want to blow it.
All good. I will say there is some great movies. We're going to have a lot of honorable mentions because there's some great movies that they just don't like. I can't put them on the list, but they deserve to be there. So would you like to go first or second today?
I think the right decision second, so I would like to be in the 2 hole.
Okay. All right.
And I also went first last week. So
yeah, I know. I was hoping you'd forget that. All right. Then 1-1, I'm gonna go safe, and I'm gonna go with Tarzan.
Oh, damn it.
One of the best soundtracks.
Yeah.
Movie. I didn't realize how it came out in 99. I thought it came out a lot sooner. Or I mean a lot earlier. But yeah, just a great movie right before the turn of the century. And it is my favorite Disney movie as well.
That probably would have been my 1-1 as well. I'm going to go with another one with a great soundtrack here. I'm going to take The Jungle Book.
Good one on my list.
And then my second one here. I'm going to go with Hercules.
Oh, that was going to be my next pick. Wow. Great pick there. I'm going to go with a double Pixar here. A double Pixar that's just 2 of the absolute classics. I do have some new movies that I'll hope to get later, but I'm gonna take in my second and third pick. I'm going Toy Story and A Bug's Life, back-to-back Pixar's, came out back-to-back years. Bug's Life was one of them. I think I watched that movie once a day when I was a kid, per my mom's. And then how do you get much better than Tom Hanks as Woody just back in '94? The real start to what every kid thought was going on in there when they left their toys out.
Yeah. I mean, I think those are both great picks. I mean, I love Toy Story. Bug's Life as well, for sure. Both just phenomenal picks. Dude, there's so many.
There's so many good movies. There's so many.
I can do almost 10 of these pretty easily.
Should we keep running through? Maybe we'll stop at 8.
Yeah. Let's see where we get, and then we'll adjust.
Okay.
Like, hey, all right. So let me go here. This is going to be. I'm going to go a classic here. It's gonna be Monsters Inc. I'm not
Wow.
really a classic, a newer one, but I had one of the most vivid
Dude,
memories.
Monsters Inc. is like 2001.
Yeah, I was in preschool, and I remember, my dad working. I didn't get to spend as much time with my dad, especially a little kid. Came and picked me up from preschool one day, and we went out and saw Monsters Inc. at theaters. Great movie.
Yeah.
Great movie. And then I have to go with it. I think I can't let it go any further. I gotta go Lion King. I just love the Lion King.
So you would have been able to get that anywhere, not because it's not a good movie. Lion King's just not up there for me. I think it's great. It's obviously an all-time classic. Just not up there for me personally.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Oh man. I'm gonna change up and go a little bit new school here now. I'm gonna take Moana 1 with my fourth pick. Great soundtrack, awesome movie, fun to watch at the beach, cool story, interesting movie, way better than the second one. Liked it a lot. And then staying on a newer vibe. And this is just, both of us like to cook. I love watching shows. I'm gonna take Ratatouille. It's my
Piece of
fifth
shit. Oh my god. That I'm gonna kick myself on that one. Kicking myself on that one.
I would have been pretty sad. I wanted Ratatouille big time.
Okay. So are we gonna go? So that's your fifth. Are we going? We'll go to 8 for now. We'll see at 8.
Yeah. We can hit 8.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna go with the new schooler one here too. It's just one of those newer ones I loved. It's Wall-E.
Okay. I actually just saw that for the first time this year.
And then I'm gonna go with another one too as well, a new school. Cars.
All right. Little Mater, Owen Wilson. Those are good ones. All right. This is a callback. I know I could get it later. It doesn't matter. It's just one of my favorites. I'm going to take the Aristocats. Kind of like 101 Dalmatians, a little bit different vibe. I know I could get it later, but it deserves to be taken there. And I'm going to follow up with one that the sequel's actually coming out this year, and I'm pretty excited to see it. Zootopia. Absolute banger of a movie.
Great pick. Great pick. Oh man, this is tough. All right, so my last two here, I'm gonna go with, because you just mentioned it, our cartoon dog draft last week. I'm taking 101 Dalmatians. I think it just deserves to be drafted.
Yeah, that's a good one on my list.
And then I'm gonna go with this one. I didn't see it till probably about a year ago. But I think that the singing in this one's phenomenal, and I get why every little girl was obsessed with it. Dude, Frozen.
Frozen's great. Have you seen Frozen 2?
I have. I saw it almost immediately after the first Frozen. I was like, this isn't very. I'm like, it's not as good as the first one.
Really? I liked Frozen 2 better, actually.
I don't know. Maybe the first
Frozen
one.
Frozen 1 songs are better.
Maybe that's what it was, dude.
Yeah.
I was having a great time with the first one. Maybe it's because I pretty much went Frozen 1 and I turned on Frozen 2.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm kind of out of this.
Could be. All right. We might be able to go to 10, dude, if you want to.
I can rock 10. Rock 10.
We'll rock 10. That's the last call out. So I've got 8 and 9 here.
Yep.
All right. God. I'm going to take Emperor's New Groove.
Okay.
Get a little bit of Cusco in my life. Oh, man. All right. I've got 2 picks left. How do I want to do this? I'm going to take Encanto.
Okay. Never was a huge Encanto fan.
Really?
I've only seen it like once or twice, though.
It's good. I like the songs, dude. It's a good track. But there's some that I'm going to be leaving on the board that are going to make me very sad. I'm hoping you take them.
All right. I feel like it has to be taken. I love it. You said Toy Story earlier. You go with Toy Story 3.
Oh, okay.
I love Toy Story 3.
Yeah.
Toy Story 2 is good too, but I definitely have to go with Toy Story 3.
Yeah.
And then my last one, I'm gonna go with The Fox and the Hound. I saw it again recently, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm gonna go with The Fox and the Hound.
Good one. Good one. I'm just looking at the movies that we're leaving off and the ones that I still have on my board, and people are gonna be so mad. My last one,
dude, there's a ton.
I wish I could redraft some of these picks, specifically like 3 of my last 4. But I'm gonna go with my favorite one of the last 4, even though it's not the best one, and that's Onward. I don't know if you've seen Onward.
I don't think I have.
Dude, it is an unbelievable watch. It's about 2 alien brothers trying to find their dad. It's absolutely spectacular. So your top 10, people are gonna be so mad. Jungle Book, Hercules, Monsters Inc., Lion King, Wall-E, Cars, 101 Dalmatians, Frozen, Toy Story 3, and Fox and the Hound. I have Tarzan, Toy Story, Bugs Life, Moana, Ratatouille, The Aristocats, Zootopia, Emperor's New Groove, Encanto, and Onward. It was pretty hurtful for me to leave off Up, Inside Out.
It's so sad.
I know. It's so
but yes.
Inside Out, a great movie. I liked the second one too. It's pretty solid. Coco, phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal movie. And then Luca, the little sea monster movie, also great. Lilo and Stitch, obviously, which is what kind of got our brains going in this direction. We left that one out as well, but
I do like Lilo and Stitch, but just there's so many other good ones.
There's so many good movies. I didn't realize how many good ones.
Here's one I think we're getting a lot of shit for leaving off, but listen, I didn't think it ranks up there. Finding Nemo.
Oh yeah, it was on my list. It's Kristen's favorite. It's Kristen's favorite movie, actually.
That's crazy.
It's not in my top 10.
I think for some reason the child with the braces kind of freaks me out in that movie. I'm like, I don't need to be seeing all that.
Here's the thing. Finding Nemo is similar to Kobe Bryant in my world. Good movie. It's not top 10, and that's not an insult. There's been so many movies across the history of Disney. There's been so many.
Had to throw the shot at Kobe.
There's been so many basketball players.
Wait all show.
Having him number 12 overall it's not an insult. There's been so many basketball players of all time.
You don't even have Finding Nemo in your top 20. Well, I guess, maybe you don't have mine,
okay. I have Kobe Bryant in the top 20, but if I had to break, maybe that's what we do next time is we just break down our personal top 20s. We're going to have a lot of time in between now and football season starting.
Yeah, for sure. We got a couple of ways to keep ourselves entertained.
Yeah, absolutely.
I did have one. It isn't an animated movie, so I didn't include it, but it's a dinosaur. I really wanted to include it. It's the first ever computer-generated dinosaur movie.
I saw that in theater. That movie was badass.
But it's like CGI. The first time I started using CGI, part of it's
it had like the dinosaur eye was like the logo. It's like you're looking at his like face. Yeah, dude, I remember seeing that in theaters.
I had to look it up to see if I could use that one. I couldn't, but I still wanted to give it a shout.
Have you ever seen The Good Dinosaur?
I have not. It's okay.
Well, it's not a dinosaur movie. It's just a movie that happens to have a dinosaur in it. But yeah, I think that's everything. What do you got? Anything else for today before we wrap it up? Nope. Anything else that amused you this week?
Nope. That's it. I gotta go. Unfortunately, I think I'm gonna go try to work out, get that in for the day, and then.
Oh yeah, I guess it's 4:30 there.
Yeah. Go get that 4:30, then work out. But I'm exhausted. I'm kind of tired. I've been up since 5, so it's like. I guess I've been up since 3 a.m. technically, considering losing 2 hours or gaining 2 hours, and then go rip a steak dinner and watch some basketball. So that's my plan for the evening.
Here we go, Pacers. Good talking to you, buddy. I guess we'll touch base. By the next time we touch base, I think the series might have been decided. No,
right? For sure. Oh, for sure.
It should both be over.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we'll have some finals cleanup, and then NBA Finals, Stanley Cup Finals to get into. I do want to rank some states here soon, but that might be a whole.
I think that's a post NBA and NHL.
That might be a whole episode by itself.
And maybe we'll have some fans by then, and we're probably going to lose all of them because I'm going to hold nothing back.
I hope they're all from Ohio.
Nothing back. I hope people from Ohio tune in. Actually, right now, if you're from Ohio, I don't want your viewership. I don't care. Just get out of here. Yeah. All right. Well, that's all I had, man. Great talking to you, and good luck tonight.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Peace.
Peace.